All right, guys.
I don't know if I didn't run a lot today.
So, guys, we're evaluating limits today. Guys, phones away. That's not away. James, grab. James. The bottom of the table. No. You don't need those. Grab the table. There you go. You're good. Oh, yeah. All right, up here, guys. Way down, please. Yeah, how do you do it without a graph? So that's what we're going to figure out, is how do you do this without a graph? You do not have to graph everything. Yeah, we're just jumping into the notes. So, your first option, anytime I just give you an algebraic limit to figure out, is to try to plug in the x value. If you can just plug in x and you get an answer, that's great. If you plug in x and you get something that's undefined, meaning there's a 0 in the denominator, then you have to try to do something else, okay? But if you can just plug it in, you're good. So the first one, limit of 3 as x approaches 1. That's talking about the line y equals 3. Is there anywhere to plug in the 1? There is no denominator. There's just no x, so there's nowhere to plug it in. If you visualize it, that's just a horizontal line, right? So what is the y value going to be when x is 1? 3, and you have done number 1. Okay? So when it's a constant and you're evaluating the limit, it just will be whatever the constant is. Okay? Correct. All right. So number 2, limit of x as x approaches -4. What do you think the answer is going to be? So -4. Yeah. And that's it. It starts very easy, guys. It will get a little trickier when we do have those zeros in the denominator. But the first ones here are easy. So, guys, what do we get for number 3? Hey, Julian, reasonable answers, please. 7. 7. What do we do with the x value? Plug it in. Okay. So number 4, when you plug 1 in, what do we think?
1 minus 1 is negative.
2 minus 1 over 1 minus 2. You could get -1. 2 minus 1 over 1 minus 2. All right, guys, what do we get for number 5? 2.
5 is 2.
Yep, good job. What do we get for number 6?
I don't know how to do that.
Really?
Cos x.
0.
Is that 0?
But it's times x squared. So even if you don't know what cosine of 0 is, times 0 would give you 0. So 0 times anything is going to be 0, yeah. All right, what do we get for number 7? 19 halves. All right, what do we get for 8? 12. And number 9?
I don't know.
It is just E. Okay, guys, E is just a constant, right? Isn't that just a number? Okay, 2.7-ish. Yeah, sure. So plugging 4 in, it doesn't matter. It's like the first one. It's just this horizontal line at E. It's not a log graph, though. It's just the line y equals E. Okay. Sarah, you want to grab one of these? Grab the staple. Nope, just the staple one. There's a chair somewhere behind you. I think the extra one's in the back. All right, guys, we're going to jump around a little bit here. Go ahead and turn the page. We are skipping around, as I said. Yes. Multiple. Julian, troubles?
No troubles.
Okay. All right, number 1. Can I just plug 3 in?
No, wait.
What do I get if I plug 3 in? Yeah, I get 0 in the denominator. And even if it's 0 over 0, that's still not okay. That's an oh no. Okay, so we got to do some work. All right, so you write the limit statement. So limit as x approaches 3. Yeah, factoring never goes away, guys.
Wait, I don't have to factor that because 2 how do you do that? 2 and 3 and 1 and 5 is x.
1 and 5, what are you?
I mean 1 and 6.
What? Why didn't 2 and 3 work?
2 and 3 work?
Negative 3 and 2.
Am I tweaking?
Yes.
Negative 3 and 2 is better than 3.
Why would it equal 3?
Bro, I'm asking this today.
I'm trying to get a negative 1.
There is no 3 in the middle of that problem.
Oh, wait. Oh, great. I'm still a little confused.
All right, what multiplies to give you negative 6 and adds to?
Negative 3.
There is no 3 there.
Wait, so you don't plug in the 3?
No. We haven't done this. We've not evaluated.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I do, but I thought we plugged in.
I was very concerned.
I was looking like,
All right, guys, what happens now?
the whole.
All I did was factor.
There's a whole.
Well, when there's a leading coefficient of 1, there's not really a lot to it. You just think what 2 numbers multiply to negative 6 and add up to negative 1. And those 2 numbers are negative 3 and positive 2.
Is the answer 5?
No, we are factoring this. Yeah, that's why it still says limit as x approaches 3 on the front. Dan?
So if it's a whole, do they cross out?
It's a whole, yeah. Well, right, which is why we're doing something. Okay. So those cancel, right?
Oh, they did. Okay, this is 5.
Now I can plug the 3 in, correct? That felt a little more challenging than I thought it was going to.
I've plugged it in already.
Well, when you plug it in, you get 0 over 0, and that is your oh no. Don't do that, okay? Plug it in then. All right, let's look at number 2. This is clearly different, right? Doesn't look like a big factory problem. Just give up. Just be like, okay, we're done. All right, we are going to multiply by the conjugate. Remember conjugate? So square root of x plus 1 plus 1. It's where that 1 sign changes in between the square root and the not square root. And you take numerator and denominator times that. What? You have seen it? Like if you had 3 over 2, or that's not a 2. 2 minus square root of 5. Right? You guys not remember doing this to rationalize? What did you do in Algebra 2?
Yo, I'm a good teacher. Let me keep it above. I do not remember.
You don't remember doing that?
I got an A now.
Okay, well, the conjugate is when the sign changes in between the square root and the constant, okay? So it doesn't change within your square root between the 2 terms. The square root term... No. All right. Guys, focus. Up here with me, okay? You are not multiplying everything, but we are going to multiply the two conjugates. So what is square root of x plus 1 times square root of x plus 1?
Square root. Oh,
We got there.
I did that, like I got there.
Okay, the whole point of the conjugate is that you would get a positive square root and then negative that same square root, so those cancel. So then the last thing we multiply is minus 1.
So it's just x over x.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Wait up, man.
Denominator, I'm not going to multiply this out. I'm going to leave it factored as x times square root of x plus 1 plus 1.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
All right. What happens with the 1 minus 1 in the numerator? Okay, so what we have is x up there, and then x times this lovely business. What do we see? Don't distribute. What do we see? Can I cancel anything?
Yes.
Cancel the x's. What is left in the numerator, even though I canceled the x's? Can I now plug the 0 in? Yeah.
0 plus 1 is 1
Whoa, but it's still
1 over 2, yeah. 1/2. Oh, we got there. It's not my height.
Oh, I messed up the sign.
Do you see it? All right. Questions on 2.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I see right.
Where are we stuck, Chris?
Oh, like the next question.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. Questions on 2, though. Are we okay with
Oh, no,
2?
so yeah, I understood this.
Yes. And 1 plus 1. Yes.
Are the stars up?
No, I'm behind on stars and grading. What? No, retakes count too. Yeah. I just don't have a muck yet, but you'll get one. All right, questions on 2. All right, James, last warning. Okay, do number 4 next. We're going to come back to 3, but do number 4 since that's another square root. You do gotta do conjugate. Try number 4. Ready, go. Number 4, conjugate.
I got that.
So negative 2 is plus 2. It's going to be less. Oh, then these guys. So it's 4. Oh, yeah, so
Heck, when you're ready, guys.
Oh, I think.
Oh.
Got it?
I did.
The ones that are actually conjugates of each other. And then don't do the others. So square root of x minus 2 and square root of x plus 2, those are conjugates, so you multiply those out. All right, guys, questions on 4? True.
it's the start of summer.
All right, number 3, guys. We're going back to number 3. Can I just plug the 1 in from the beginning? Yeah, number 3. No, you get 0 over 0. That does not work. So I need to factor. Difference of cubes, guys. How do we factor?
1 minus.
Everyone's like, soap, and then they're like, I don't know what it means. So.
Same and opposite signs.
Same, opposite, always positive. So let's say it's a cubed minus b cubed.
But it's not that.
This is the general formula.
What?
I remember.
I remember that.
Okay. So what you do with it. So let's do an example. Let's say I have x cubed minus 8 as my problem. You need to figure out what a and b are to begin with. So a is the cubed root of x cubed.
Oh.
So what is that? Okay. And b is the cubed root of 8.
2.
Okay. So you now have your a and b. So you just follow the formula. So a minus b, x minus 2. A squared, that'd be x squared. Plus 2x plus 4.
Ooh, that's such factors.
There you go.
I remember I mastered this at one.
And then it went away. I made up a problem. X cubed minus 8. And that factors into x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 4.
Pretty much you're just doing like what it would be for a squared minus b squared, and then you just do another, you just take out another a minus b plus b.
No.
For like,
A squared minus b squared does not factor into a squared plus ab plus b squared.
no, not a squared minus b squared. It's just like we got a minus b.
What do you mean I just took out an a minus b?
Because like a squared plus ab plus b squared, it's more like whether
Guy.
Tyler, I don't know what you're saying. Write this down. You will need it. So what?
I thought we were like done with the stuff like this. It was like a unit 8 thing.
Factoring?
Like no, not factoring, but this formula.
This formula is factoring.
Oh, okay.
Factoring cubes.
So they make it make sense, and I read it down.
You ask questions. Factoring never goes away. If you take stat, you won't have to factor, but in any algebra-based course, you will have to factor. So guys, let's look at number 3. So of the x cubed minus 1, what is a going to equal?
It's a minus.
Hold on, guys.
That's what I got.
Not like a 99, that's actually not me, but
I had a bad
School property.
That is school property. Yeah.
That's why it's worse I used to.
Yeah. I like retaking the class.
And they steal the school calculator.
Okay.
Hey, I gave it back.
All right. So in x cubed minus 1, what is a going to equal? X. Yes. What is b going to equal? Just 1. The minus in the middle you use to pick the formula. You don't treat the b, so just 1. So limit as x approaches 1. If I factor that numerator, what will it be? X minus 1.
X
came up with
plus X plus 4.
Yes.
and then you
Over X minus 1.
get rid of the
Plus
X
that out. Plug it in.
Once you're there, then it's easy, right?
3.
Wow.
I'll just-
Cube root of negative 1, negative 1.
You don't use the sign in the middle. You just look at x cubed and you look at 1. The sign tells you which formula you're using.
I did spin.
All right, so I cancel out the x minus 1s. Can I plug in a 1 now? What do I get? 3. Okay. Good. Okay. We can factor cubes. Hopefully. All right, let's look at number 7. Okay, this says limit as x approaches 3, but then I give you a piecewise function. So remember graphically how we would look from the left and from the right and see if the people ran into each other? You're doing that, but you're going to do that algebraically. So we're going to look at the limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the right and figure out what that is. And we're going to do the limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the left.
So you do both of them?
Yep, because we need to know if the left and the right match. So then you have to pick my piecewise here. Which piece do you think is talking about values from the right of 3?
The bottom. The top one.
One of them? Yeah. So if we're on the right side of 3, are those numbers bigger or smaller? Bigger, so it's the top piece, okay? So when I plug 3 into this top piece, what do I get? 9. Okay. And then 3 from the left, which piece will I use as my from the left part? The bottom. Plug 3 into that, and what do we get? 14. It's Friday. Either way, guys, do those match? Even if you wrote 12, do they match? No, don't match. So what do you think I'm going to say for the limit? D and E. Okay.
What if
It does not exist.
Does not exist.
Plus 2 again.
Those of you that missed last class, either from an AP or making up a test, make sure you watch the notes for 11-1. Watch the video and take the notes, okay? All right, guys, questions on that piecewise one? Okay, turn the page. We're going to jump around a little here, guys. I know I skipped 8.
You're on the right page.
All right, let's look at 9. It is piecewise, so what do you think I need to do? The same thing. Figure it out, exactly. So limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from the right. Are we going to use the top piece or the bottom piece? Top, what do I get?
0.
0. Okay. Then, limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from the left.
0. Ooh, they meet.
Also 0. They do meet, right? Okay, it's a hole where they meet, but that doesn't matter. So the question says determine whether the limit exists. So does it exist?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If they asked what it actually was, it would be 0.
So
So when you get the answer though, like if it's like asking where it is, would I write lim on that x?
You'd say, you'd write this equals 0.
We do the fancy way like you do.
Yeah. Fancy. Go fancy. Like,
You have an person.
oh, you can write.
And I thought the way.
Fancy's better. All right, next one is multiple choice, number 10. Okay, f of x is given to you as 2x squared plus 1, and I want to know the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x minus f of 0 all over x squared. Okay, yeah, it just looks like a lot, right? It is not that bad. Come over here to the side. Let's write limit as x approaches 0. One piece at a time here. The first piece says f of x. Well, do we know what f of x is equal to?
2x squared plus 4.
Okay, so I'm going to write that. Then it says minus f of 0. Well, what is f of 0? 1. That just means plug 0 in. We get 1. All over x squared.
Plug a 0. Oh, wait,
Can't plug in 0 yet. We need to simplify. No. It kind of already is. What's going to happen with the 1 minus 1? So I've got 2x squared over x squared. Right, x squareds cancel, so there's nowhere even to plug 0 in, but what do I get? 2, which is answer C. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, guys, we're skipping 11. Let's go to 12. All right, they tell you a cannot equal 0, and then we've got this limit as x approaches a of x squared minus a squared over x to the 4th minus a to the 4th. That looks like a lot. Yeah, we're going to do some difference of squares factoring. No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
I've got like different squares.
Okay. So you don't have to do it this many times, but I think this is what, do you guys see it in the numerator first? Like, is that your instinct is to factor that? Okay, so let's do that. X squared minus a squared, that would factor into x minus a times x plus a over, okay, x to the 4th minus a to the 4th. That is also difference of squares. What will that become? No. Not quite. Yes. Start with them squared. X squared minus a squared times x squared plus a squared. Yeah, then one of those I could factor again, right? I've got x minus a, x plus a. X squared minus a squared would be x minus a, x plus a. I can write that. But the x squared plus a squared, I can't do anything with that.
But does that just, so then you do the cross out and it just stays x squared plus a squared?
Yeah, so x minus a's cancel, x plus a's cancel. What's in the numerator? 1. So I've got 1 over x squared plus a squared. Can I evaluate that now? Yeah, so what am I plugging in? A. So I have 1 over a squared plus a squared. What is that? How many a squareds do I have?
2a squared.
Okay, so 1 over 2a squared. B is your answer. It's a lot of x's and a's.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong question. That's fine.
Just give me a second.
Okay. Questions there, guys? Anybody? Any?
everyone on the panel. And it ended up being like, it was that hard.
We got it, Julian?
Like we were shooting that.
And guys, if you see it on that one, you could have only factored the denominator one time and canceled out the numerator with it. But if you see it this way, that's fine.
Oh, you can like press down. Wait, what?
All right, guys, turn the page again. We're skipping again a few things.
Like actual.
Yeah, like a few, like industrial. I want to get through what I want to do. They like put it all together. All right, guys, try 1 through 4 for me. It is delightful. 1 through 4, guys, ready to go. Julian, get to work. Leave it that way. Talk to each other. Did you get the same answers? Julian, are you done with all 4? Okay. None of them are that tricky. 3 looks scary, but it's not. Plug it in, plug it in.
You still get a 0. You got it.
I don't know about this.
I got negative 2.
Oh, it is gonna be.
No, don't sing out loud. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I do.
That's
They will say it's better.
I don't know, but don't sing out.
-2.
Oh, you know, I know you some of the names.
I know.
Oh, negative.
But how do you know the names?
So what?
And I don't know the
Yeah. We learned in 4-3 PE the other day.
Oh, the square dance.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have the colonial job where you got a random job? We did like square dancing, and then we did like we had to make like these posters for a colonial job. So we would sign it. And I was in a pop. Because it was fun. Oh yeah, I do some reelers. So wait, the fire was in the hall?
Oh no.
Where are we going? Because an idiot
In elementary.
Oh, I was like, not recently, right? All right, guys, let's plug them in. These first 4, remember, your first approach is always just plug in the x value. That's it. So I plug in 1/2, I get 3/2 minus 9, which is really 18/2, right? So you could say a negative 15/2, or I would also take negative 7.5, either way. Number 2, you plug in the 4, what do we get? Yep. Okay, number 3, you plug in the negative 1. What do we get? Negative 2/19, I believe that is correct. Yes? Don't you get?
-3.
Ooh, okay, let's go through it. All right, if I plug negative 1 in and raise it to the 89th, that is negative 1. Negative 1 to the 56th is positive times 2, so that'd be plus 2. Negative 1 to the 18th is positive times negative 6. Plus 8 minus 7. Negative 1, that'd be plus 3. That would turn into plus 17 plus 19. All right, so let's look. Numerator, a plus 2 is 10 minus, what, 14, so negative 4. Denominator looks like 20, 39 minus 1 is 38. So when you reduce, that is negative 219. What'd you do?
Wait, I did. Wait, because -1 plus 2 is 1.
Yes?
Oh, did I do -1 plus 2 and put negative? Oh, that's what I did. Because I did negative 14 plus 8.
You know, that adding, negative 1 plus 2, that's the tough stuff of the day.
1, -1.
All right, number 4. Did everyone get just pi for that? The constants, and that's what it is. Okay, try 5 through 8 next, just those 4. These are now the factoring conjugate kind of ones, okay? These require a little more effort. Which one? Which one? Factor. For the denominator. Good job, Drew.
Wait, no, wait, I just thought, one second, one second, one second.
I don't know.
I don't
See me do.
To the
bottom. What?
How are we doing, guys? Julian, what you doing? What are you doing?
It just rebounds.
James, you got all four?
I brought up
So you know it's going to be
X minus whole square.
Wake up, bro.
Yep, just back.
Wake up to reality.
so bottom is something, dude.
I was in the States.
Square.
So it's just like something beat you in chess.
Dude, you suck. Right? You suck.
You brought up chess.
One of us. One of square minus Soap it. You gotta soap it. You just have to soap it. Just we're gonna have to.
No, I don't.
I mean, wait, it's minus. If you're gonna minus everything by a zero, it's still gonna be a zero. Alright, well, I guess the last
Yeah, no,
Did for a while. I only did it for
I mean, if you multiply all out, what do you get? Plus 3. Right, we go all out.
But it's total for 93. Yeah, but it's
Oh, no, that was
contribution.
Okay.
Be careful with your signs on that conjugate one.
What do you get for 5? Oh my god, I'm so smart. Everybody has to acknowledge it right now.
zero plus the x is minus. There's 4 minus 0.
I'm just kidding. What? Yeah, I'm playing that. Oh.
So if I did I'm getting this policy. Yeah, where do we have? 4 minus 0. Oh, okay.
So, or and then it's this whole
no, but then we'll hear passes
very
actually.
All right, guys, let's go through them. All right, guys, number 5. Let's go through the factoring. Difference of cubes in the numerator. What does it factor into? X minus 3. Good. Drew, you can factor difference of cubes. Congratulations. All right, what cancels here?
X minus 3.
Okay, what do I do then?
Plug in 3 x squared plus 3x plus 3.
What do I get?
First right answer I've gotten in my life.
All right, questions on 5. All right, 6. I factor. Some of you were struggling with the factoring on this one. You're good at the denominator. All right, guys, up here. Trish, turn around.
Sort it out.
Tyler, factor the numerator for me. Tyler, factor the numerator for me. 6.
6.
Alright, who can help him out? Julian, factor the numerator. Yes, take out the GCF. Guys, I'm not going through these for me, okay? I'm going through them for you, so it'd be a good idea to pay attention. That cancels. What do I get when I plug the 5 in?
1/2.
Yep, 5/10, which is 1/2.
But here's the problem: when you stop it,
All right.
so the
Number 7.
no, yeah,
The numerator I'm just leaving alone, x minus 1 to the 4th.
because you still is not going to be multiplying by 0.
The denominator, guys, what does that factor into?
X squared plus 1.
Yeah, so it's x squared minus 1, x squared plus 1, and then you can go farther with the x squared minus 1. So you should have x minus 1, x plus 1, x squared plus 1. Make sure your factoring is correct there. Okay, I can cancel out then 1 of the x minus 1, so that top one is now down to 3. And what do you get when you plug 1 in? Just 0. It's fine to have 0 in the numerator as long as you don't also have 0 in the denominator. So 0 is the answer. All right, what do I need on 8?
Okay.
Conjugate.
Wait, what?
What did you say, Julia? Okay. What is 1 minus 1? Okay, because your denominator's not. Denominator is what, 4? All right, so with the conjugate, guys, you need to just be careful with your signs when you multiply that out. Limit x approaches 0. 2 times 2, that's easy, that's 4. This is where you need to be careful. You end up with minus the whole thing 4 plus x.
No.
Did you say no? Are you okay? Do you have a question? Okay. So when I simplify the numerator there, guys, what am I actually left with? Not just negative x. That's the tricky part. You see, that's why I put it in parentheses so you don't mess up the sign. Then the x's cancel. So I have that -1 up there. What do I get? Guys, are we okay with the negative? All right. Last 2, try 9 and 10 for me. Yes, you can. You can do it. I know you can. Try 9 and 10. denominator. Make it one fraction. You see it? Did you do them, Julian? We're doing 9 and 10. Okay. Although I'm doing it in my head. Hold on. Yeah, because I'm in my head.
So like I made it one common denominator is x minus 2 over x. Over all this crosses out. And it's x over x equals 2. Plug in the 2 over 4.
No, so this is over 1, right? So when you flip it, it's 1 over x times x plus 2.
Where do we flip it?
And you could even flip it before. So now you're like, solve that.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Oh, because you can keep it flipped. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is it?
I just have a bottom.
That's the bottom. This is the bottom. This
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottoms.
Hey guys, what you get for number 9? -1. Everybody okay with that? What is always your first option for evaluating limits? Okay, plug 0 in. What do you get? Okay. Okay, so what you get for 10? 1 over 8 is correct. Let's go through it. The 1 can turn into x over x. You can put that over 1, so you've got your 4-level fraction.
Oh, yesterday, my mom, that's tired. My mom was that. This finger is not a good man all
So you're down to 1 over x times x plus 2. You get 1/8 as your answer.
Oh, you know, there's it's never both. I knew it must then be how I know.
All right, guys, questions? Van, you got it?
When I write, how do rolls is it not?
How about you bring your phone up here, put it in the holder?
Like this, then.
Thank you. All right, guys, that's it for notes. Join the quizzes. And